Good morning everybody, it's Claire Jones here from Your One Life Healthy Weight Solutions, and I'm live with you here on Monday morning, the 21st of August 2023, and we are on episode 50 of Monday Morning Matters. I can't believe that, we've done so many now. The great news about that is that there's a big back catalogue for anyone who's just come across these videos that you can go back and have a look at and see what else I might have covered in previous sessions. So today it's going to be all about protein shakes and bars and the pros and cons of using them to support weight management. And before I go into that, I'd just like to say a very, very warm welcome to everyone who's recently joined the Your One Life Healthy Weight Solutions free Facebook group, which is where I do all of these live videos from initially. They then get saved and then they get added to my YouTube channel. You can also see the back catalogue of them in the group as well, because that's where they're broadcast from originally. If you are watching live or on catch up, I would absolutely love it if you said hello in the comments, because what that does is it helps Facebook to know that you want to see these things, or YouTube as well if you're watching this on YouTube, and it means that you'll get shown more of my stuff, or you'll get notified when I've gone live talking about different things, and it also helps other people to know as well. So and obviously it gives you the opportunity to ask any questions and get some answers from me. Unfortunately, I don't tend to see the comments as they come up, and it usually tends to be afterwards that I'll go back in. But if you do leave a comment, I will come back and acknowledge it, and if it's a question, I will come back and answer that for you. But I only have 10 minutes, and this is a really big topic, so I'm going to dive straight in. And obviously any questions that come up we can deal with afterwards. So just to reiterate, the topic here is the pros and cons of protein shakes and bars for weight loss. Equally, you could say weight management as well. So if you've already lost weight and you're struggling to maintain and you want to understand a little bit more about where this fits in, then this will also help you. Now, because I've only got 10 minutes and because this is a really big topic, I've got a few notes here, so apologies if I keep sort of looking down at them, but I really need to make sure that I stick to the topic, because I do sometimes have a tendency to go off on tangents, and I want to try and keep it nice and succinct today. So what I'm going to be covering is 5 different things. I'm going to first of all going to cover obviously what is protein and why is it important for health and for weight loss. What are protein bars and shakes? What are the pros and the cons of protein bars and shakes? And then what my opinion is in relation to weight loss and weight management. Now, as I said, this is a very big topic. I'm going to be going to going to be covering lots of things, but there's not going to be time for me to go into lots of detail. So I will be providing you with some links in the bottom in the comments for you to go and do some further reading, and you'll be able to sort of perhaps see some of the sources of the information and some of the scientific studies that have been done on this to help you to understand a little bit more about it. So first of all, what is protein and why is it important for health and for weight loss? So first of all, it's an absolutely vital nutrient. It's one of the macronutrients, the 3 being protein, fat and carbohydrates. Again, don't have time to go into all of that now, but if you look at some of my previous videos and on my blog, on my website, you'll be able to get more information about that. So we need it for good health, okay? Without protein, we're not going to be too healthy. So we need it for growth of new tissues, for repair of tissues, and also for making hormones and enzymes. And our bodies run on hormones and enzymes. So if we haven't got sufficient protein, it's going to be harder for our bodies to be healthy and do all the things that we need to do. So in terms of weight loss and weight management, obviously we want to stay healthy while we're losing weight, so we need to make sure that we are getting enough protein from a health perspective, but also there are a couple of additional benefits when it comes to weight management, and that is that having enough protein in our diets helps us to stay fuller for longer. It helps with appetite. It's been shown that when we eat meals that are higher in protein, we tend to stay fuller for longer, and it can actually also help us to feel more full more quickly whilst we're eating. There are lots of different theories about why that is, again, which I don't have time to go into yet, but it's very interesting. And so if you are thinking about any meal that you have, just make sure, if you want to be satisfied, that you have got some decent protein content within your meal. How much protein we need each day, there are so many different studies out there. There's so many different conflicting information about how much protein we should have in a meal or in a day. But you know, if you're aiming for sort of 20 to 30 grams of protein, or even up to 35 grams of protein each meal, then you're going to be doing all right. And if you're eating 3 meals a day, that is. But you would need to look into, for your own needs, what that would be for you. And also take into account things like lifestyle and how active you are, because the more active we are, the more protein we need. But we still don't need to go off the scale with it. You know, we want to make sure we're getting a balanced diet and that our nutrition is coming from all 3 of the macronutrients. But that's a topic for another day. And the other really important thing about protein in relation to weight loss is that it helps to preserve our muscle mass, which will support obviously our strength and our mobility, and also our ability to burn more calories in the future, because after we lose weight, we naturally will lose a little bit of muscle because our bodies don't need as much. But by getting enough protein in our diets, we can help preserve what we've already got, especially if we're also doing some kind of resistance training. Again, that's a topic for another day. So what are protein bars and shakes? Okay, very simply, they are supplements. Okay, they are dietary supplements that we can use to top up our nutrition over and above regular food. We shouldn't be using them as an alternative to regular food. They can be ready-made, so you can buy them in bottles, which does tend to be quite expensive, or you can buy them in powder form and then you make them up yourself, either with milk or water. Bars tend to be ready-made, although you can make them from homemade as well. And there are, sorry, my printer has just decided to start making a noise, so apologies for that. There are different types of protein shakes from different sources of protein. Again, there's no time for me to go into all the detail of that, but I will provide some links in the comments where you can read a bit more about that. So, on to the pros then. The pros of using protein shakes and bars to support weight loss or weight management. They are a very, very quick and easy way of getting more protein into our diets, especially at times when it's really beneficial to be able to consume some easily absorbable protein, such as when we've just done a workout. You know, that if we've just done a strength training workout or even a cardio workout, we want to get some protein back into our bodies to enable our bodies to recover quickly from what we've just done. And protein bars and shakes can be a really good way of doing that, especially the shakes, because they're very easily digestible, but depending on the type you get, which I'll come on to in a minute. And they are also a very easy alternative when it's easier to drink our calories than it is to eat them. So let's just say, I don't know, you're in a meeting and you don't really want to be getting out your lunch, but you're getting hungry and you know that you need something, and you want something that's, as I said earlier, you know, when we're eating, whenever we're eating, we want to make sure we're getting all 3 food groups, and protein shakes do tend to have all 3 food groups within them, depending again on the type you get, and that's one of the things you need to watch for when you are choosing and how you make them up. And if you make them up with milk rather than water, then you're going to be increasing the carbohydrate content. Obviously, if you're lactose intolerant, that's not probably the best thing, but as I said, it's about figuring out for your own individual needs what's going to be right for you. So yeah, or maybe you're on the train and you don't want to get your food out because you're thinking it might disturb the other passengers, and you just want to drink something quick and easy. Likewise with a protein bar, I always have a protein bar in my handbag wherever I go, so that if I'm caught short and I'm hungry, and the alternative is that I'd end up eating a chocolate bar or getting a takeaway, just having a protein bar is a really handy thing, and obviously. The type that we choose is important, which I'll come on to in a minute. They do tend to be quite reasonable in calories per portion, certainly for the shakes. The bars, you've got to watch a bit, especially if they're like flapjacks and things like that. They can be very high in calories. But generally speaking, they tend not to be too bad. And what I tend to do with protein bars, if there's some that I really like that are very high in calories, I tend to cut them in half and just have half at one sitting and half at another sitting. Just try and manage it a little bit. You can add protein powder to recipes to enhance the protein content. Things like porridge and pancakes and muffins and all sorts. There's actually a cookbook that I've got called Protein Power. I'll share a picture of it in the comments, and it's got loads and loads of recipes where you can add protein powder to make meals more interesting, and more higher in protein, obviously. And protein bars and shakes can be really tasty and enjoyable. And let's face it, we don't want to be wasting any calories on food we don't like. So we want to make sure that we're enjoying what we're eating. But just be mindful that if they do taste really tasty, what's in them to make them so tasty, okay? Because chances are it will be things that are added to make them more tasty, which may not necessarily be the most nutritious. So on to the cons then. So what are the disadvantages of protein shakes and bars? So the body does not process artificial foods as well as it does natural foods. And let's face it, protein bars and shakes are processed foods, okay? They're not as highly processed as, and they are more nutritious than obviously some of the other kind of processed foods that we hear about and that we know we like to eat. So if you're thinking about chocolate bar versus protein bar, a protein bar is going to be better, but it's still not necessarily going to be as good as regular food, real, natural, whole foods. And of course, regular natural foods contain other ingredients that are really important, like the essential vitamins and minerals and fibre that we need for good gut health and we need for good body functioning. So getting the majority of our protein from real food is really, really important. As I said earlier, some of them have additives and fillers to make them more tasty and also to bulk them up. And, in terms of price should definitely not be the only consideration when you are looking for a protein shake. If you're looking for the cheapest, it's probably not going to be the most nutritious. So it's about getting best value in terms of getting the best that you can afford with your budget if you are looking to go down the road of buying protein shakes and bars. With bars, I tend to bulk buy mine, and then they end up being quite a lot cheaper than buying them individually. Different supermarkets sell different options. I know that Aldi and Lidl can sometimes have offers on some of the really good brands, so that's worth looking into. I tend to get mine on Amazon, but I know not everybody's a fan of buying things on Amazon. But they do like a subscribe save option where if you buy them every month you get a bit of a discount, so that's the way that I tend to do it. And with the protein shakes, I tend to buy mine from what's it called? Forgotten the name of it now. I will post it in the comments. But I'm not promoting any particular brands or anything like that. It really is about considering your own needs, your own budget, your taste, your preferences, all of that sort of thing. The other thing to just be aware of on the cons is that they can be hard to digest for some people, and different types can cause more problems than others. So again, it's a bit of trial and error to find out which ones are likely to suit you, which may not be the same as somebody else. Someone might say, oh yeah, try this one, it's great. It might be great for them, but it may not be great for you because of your own individual gut health, your own individual digestive needs, all of those sorts of things. So finally, because I'm always over time now, and I have gone over time, my opinion, okay. My opinion is that they have their place. They have a very useful place in weight management, but it is very important not to rely on them exclusively. We need to make sure that we're choosing carefully and checking the ingredients. So if you're looking at the ingredients and you can see a whole list of long things that you don't recognise, then that quality of that protein shake or bar is not going to be as good as something that's got less ingredients. So aim for the fewer ingredients, the better. That's the kind of thing really, and obviously look at reviews that other people have left, and just try a few and make your own mind up based on your experience. Make sure you're aiming to get the majority of your protein from whole foods and a nutritious balanced diet, and using protein shakes for the times, or bars as well, for the times when you need something really quick and convenient, or a quick absorption of protein, and the alternative would be something less nutritious, okay? Because, as I say, healthy eating is on a continuum. It's not either perfectly healthy or perfectly unhealthy. There is a whole space in between that we can move within. And if you're thinking chocolate bar, protein bar, and the protein bar you want to choose is one that's got a good reputation, then maybe go for the protein bar, because it's likely to fill you up for longer and is likely to just have a little bit more nutrition in it. And final note really is to just beware the marketing. You know, high protein is really fashionable at the moment and has been for a few years. So everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, and if you see high protein this, high protein that, just look at the ingredients, look at the price, and actually consider what have you already got at home that actually might meet your protein needs, as opposed to spending lots of money on something that is marketed as high protein when foods that you might have at home have got just as much protein. And again, there's someone that I follow on Instagram called The Fitness Chef, and he does some great posts around this and about being mindful of the marketing and things like that. So I'll share that link as well. So that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. But I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please do post them, and I will be more than happy to come back and answer them, whether that's on Facebook or YouTube. And I will see you next time for episode 51. Don't know what that's going to be on yet. It's not going to be next Monday, the 28th, because that's a bank holiday. I'm not going to be doing any work. Having the day off. In fact, I'm having the whole next week off. So I will see you probably in September now for the next one. But I hope that was helpful, and please do obviously subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and obviously that will mean you'll get notified for new videos that I post. And yeah, do please tell your friends, and I will see you in September. Take care. Bye bye.